Hello Stampin' friends, it's Ayana Johnston here with another check this out video tutorial to show you. Today I want to show you how I made this fun garden rose card. I used the Wink of Stellar just to give it this nice little shimmer there that I think you can see a little bit as I move the card around. I just love the way that this card turned out, and it's really simple to make. I also started off making this one in a Calypso Coral, and it's so versatile with the color combinations that you can use. It's just a matter of which one you want to go with. But today I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful card. You can get the supply list for this card on my blog at www.checkthisout.stampin'. And let me tell you, it's a great time to get these cards for all those that made those purchases in July. You have those coupons, those bonus day dollars to use through August, and what a great project to use those on. So let's get started making this card. For today's card, you're going to need the stamp set called Graceful Garden. And in this stamp set, I use this wonderful, beautiful rose out here. I call this, and they call it Graceful Garden, I call this card I made Garden Rose because the rose looks just like the ones you see in the gardens when they're full bloom. Then I also, on the inside of my card, I meant to show you, not on this one, I have this beautiful stamp outline inside of my card so I could write what I want. It was a thank you card. So I also used this rose, and then I also used this beautiful design right here. So I'm going to show you the inside of the card with that, using these two designs as well. Then I also used the Eastern Beauty stamp set, and for one of my cards I used this little thank you sentiment, or if you want you can use the You've Got This stamp set, and at the bottom of the one card I've put You've Got This. I'm going to send it to my sister-in-law. So that's why I put those two different sentiments in two different colors on those cards. So with those stamp sets, you'll be all set. Then I'm going to tell you what stamps you'll need. And the stamps you're going to need are quite a few. Today we're going to use the Fresh Fig stamp set. Then we're also going to use the Calypso Coral. And then we're going to use the Old Olive. So I showed you the two combination cards, so you're going to see how I use the Fresh Fig right here, and then I'm going to blend in the middle of the rose with the Calypso Coral. And this one I'm going to go ahead and color in my rose stem, and then I'm also going to outline the edge of my card in the Old Olive. Next we're going to need clear embossing powder, and then you're going to need this beautiful Fresh Fig woven ribbon, and that's just for the bow on our card. And then you'll also want to get your clear Wink of Stellar card, and then you can also use Dazzling Details and see how that also works out. It'll give you a little more pop on that rose too. For cardstock, you're going to need the following. You're going to need a sheet of Calypso Coral, and you're going to want to cut this sheet at 5.5 by 8.5 and score it at 4 1/4. Then you're going to need a sheet of Fresh Fig, and the Fresh Fig you're going to want to go ahead and cut this at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Then you're going to need 2 pieces of Old Olive, and the Old Olives you're going to want to cut at 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. You need 2 pieces of those. Then you're going to need a sheet of paper from the beautiful Petal Garden series, designer series paper. It's got so many beautiful roses, so many options, and for this card I chose this one. So if I flip it over I get this other beautiful look as well. Then you're going to need 2 sheets of Whisper White. This first one's for the inside of your card, cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and this is for the rose, and you're going to want to cut this at 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches. Okay, so let's get started making our rose. And then we put all the pieces together really quickly. So one thing I want to do is just get some grid paper underneath, because I'm going to need to do that with what I'm doing here. And one thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have your clear embossing powder ready to go. So when you go ahead and stamp your image, you can put it on quickly and you'll still get that nice glossy look on your flower. And I'm going to stamp this with Fresh Fig. See, I went ahead and heat embossed that real quick too, as you saw me step that off to the side. Next, I'm going to color in my rose. And I'm going to color in this rose. I'm going to do this one with the Calypso Coral and then Old Olive for the stems. And for this, I'm going to use my aqua painter. And it's really nice because I just go ahead and color it in as dark as I want it. And then I go ahead and wash it off. You'll see me with some tissue, or you can use paper towel where I clean it. And then I'm going to do the green, the Old Olive, excuse me. And there I go. So I'm going to clean off my aqua painter real quick. And then it needs a little time to dry sometimes. So what I normally do is I'll take my heat emboss if I don't want to wait too long, and I'm going to dry that real quick with my heat embosser. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. And this one I'm going to use the Thank You from the Eastern Beauty. And it fits really nicely right here in the corner with my Old Olive. And then you're going to see me ink around the edges with the Old Olive. And when I ink around my edges, I'm going to come in with a nice circular motion off to the side. And there you go. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put this all together. And the final touches once I put my card together is the Wink of Stellar. So, you're going to first see me glue the pieces together with some adhesive. And then we're going to pop it up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to show you how to get that ribbon on a little differently than maybe you're used to with some of the cards you make. One other thing I wanted to mention about this piece of fresh fig is one thing you're going to want to do is score the fresh fig at the 1 inch mark. So just take your paper trimmer and score this lightly at the 1 inch mark. And that's probably all I need. I'm going to go more just to be safe. Now when I adhere my Old Olive strips, I want to adhere them right on the edge, and then I want this one right at the 1 inch marker there. Next, I'm going to take my ribbon, this beautiful fresh fig, and I thread it through there. Just a little different way. You can put it on ahead of time if you like to. And then that's how I went ahead and I was able to just measure it out by eyeing it. That's why when I put on the Stampin' dimensionals, you can see that I put them here in the middle and then on the outside, so I had room to thread this ribbon. One last thing I did was I took these cute little mini Stampin' dimensionals that I just love now because I can get just those nice smaller details stuck down a little better, and I like to have my ribbon not moving, so I put one of these tiny Stampin' dimensionals under, and I'm probably going to put two. I put it under the ribbon so the ribbon makes sure it doesn't move. And there, I love how that looks. And then I just add a nice little finishing touch using my Wink of Stellar. And the nice thing is I can just color in all over with this, since it's all dry. And for the inside of my card, as I had mentioned below, or mentioned just a little bit earlier, I was going to use this beautiful rose right here, and I'm going to do the rose in Calypso Coral. You can just angle it on any side, and then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do that cute little trellis. I'm going to do that one in Old Olive this time. It's kind of nice, you can change it up, and then you don't have the same look with any card that you send out. And there you go. It's a beautiful, fun thank you card. You can make it a birthday card, a wedding card. Again, a lot of versatility with this card. And then the fun thing about this is all three of these cards have something different in them. So they're not the same, even though they have some similarities. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to stop by my blog and check out my specials. I'm definitely going to be running some in September. Right now is a great time to take a look at my other ideas out there at www.checkthisout.stampinup.net. Happy stampin'!